doing myself full time is the previews every week and reviews as well, if we can get a few of them in as well. But I suppose I spoke to you on Saturday at Thurles, and I was just saying I was going to do a preview, and would you have any interest in joining me again? And you said not a bother.
Yeah.
So, look, as you said, we'll run through Stephen's Day cards. We're going to run through Leopardstown, touch on Limerick, touch on. I think you have a couple of selections in Down Royal. We're going to mill through Kempton. Obviously, the two grade ones over there will take preference, but I have one or two selections for the first couple of races, and then just touch on Leopardstown for the 27th, just a couple of selections. So that'll cover like the 26th and 27th. Hopefully we'll get back on then a day or two between the 27th to preview the final 2 days of the Christmas festival, and look, hopefully we'll bang in a few winners.
Hopefully.
So,
otherwise we'll have our head in the chopping block.
I don't mind any. There's not much of my head left to chop at this stage. I got the haircut yesterday, so he took most of it.
Right, so we'll rock on then, Mark, with Leopardstown. Day one of the Christmas festival. First race kicks off at 12 o'clock, and it's the TRI Equestrian Maiden Hurdle for 4-year-olds only, over 2 miles. Is there anything in particular in this race, Mark, that you fancy?
Yeah, first of all, touching on Leopardstown. Leopardstown for me, Stephen's Day was always a day. Even if you weren't involved in racing, you'd know from it being on the telly and stuff like that. It was one of those races like Cheltenham that you'd know Stephen's Day, Leopardstown racing, and I just think now to be kind of somewhat involved within the racing community and that it's a bit special. But yeah, no, there is this maiden to get us off the mark here at 12 o'clock. It can be a tricky enough race. It's a race which throws up often a good one. I remember the year Classical Dream won it. I actually got info on him a few days before, and I was waiting. And those are the days and years you remember because they stick out. But it looks a tricky enough race here. There's 23 declared. There's a warm favourite with Willie's Cope de Bordeaux. I'm probably butchering that French pronunciation. Paddy takes the right here. 4 to 6 at the minute. Very short for me. I like one at a price each way here to try and get off the mark with a bit of value. Yes Hill for Henry de Bromhead runs in the double green of Simon Minier and Isaac Swade. Darrell Jacob coming back over to take the ride, retained to the owners. He's finally a riding Irish native, but obviously applying his trade in the UK most of his career. Hit with a bit of injury of late, but great to see him back. He actually banged in a winner the other day, which is great to see just before the festival. Ren for Stuart Crawford in a bumper, actually the Goffs defender bumper above Punchestown Festival in April this year. Was second behind a horse of Gordon Elliott's, who since went out and was second in a maiden hurdle in Punchestown behind a runner of who the Henry now trains, Butch Cassidy, who actually won a bumper in Ballinrobe when I was up there for Philip Fenton. Runs in the very famous Mr. John Magner colours. Very well bred. But the fact that Henry trained the winner of the maiden hurdle in Punchestown, that his runner here now lines up behind Gordon's horse. I'm after getting a bit overcomplicated there now, but I really like Yes Hill here on his if it takes to the obstacles. I just think could be a lot to come here from this one, and especially at 6 to 1, I'll take a chance each way in the first race.
That sounds good.
Yourself?
We'll move on. Pardon? A horse known Meads there, I think, could be a day or thereabouts. It's a horse called Dutch Gold.
Yeah. I like it, yeah.
Just put there with a little bit of a squeak there, I reckon. Donald Moyler picks up the ride for him for Noel Mead. You'll have a bit of a chance. You couldn't see him too far away now. It looks like a really open maiden hurdle, Yeah. So look, some of them are a bit of a jackpot, really, aren't they?
Well, like, if the favourite shows what he'd done on his bumper run, it'll take a bit of whacking. But sometimes it's just you don't want to get stuck into an odds-on shot, especially in the first race round and especially in a maiden hurdle. It could be one to put into maybe the Acumens as a small Acumen and build it up in a bit of a price. But for me, I'd rather take a chance each way on Henry's horse at a bit of a price, and at least you're not under the kibosh straight away.
Yeah, you're not going back looking for the price of the turkey and ham.
Yeah, we might only lose the turkey in the first race. We don't want to lose turkey and the ham.
This is no. Could be like Bob Cratchit. So we'll move on to the second race, Mark. 12:35. Thornton's Recycling Maiden Hurdle, another maiden hurdle for 5-year-olds and up, and over 2 mile again. Anything you fancy in this one again, Mark?
Again, Willie is a short one in it. Redemption Day was a superstar in the bumper fields. Paddy lines up again. Has a good engine. There's a horse running in here though that I tipped actually at my own preview last year. Gold in the Mountains for Martin Brazil to win the bumper here last year on St. Stephen's Day. Pat King lined up, but had his run after that in Punchestown at the festival. He missed Cheltenham. I was waiting for him to hopefully run the bumper in Cheltenham, but he missed Cheltenham to aim for to see one of the greatest riders of all time, Paddy Flood. Go on, the lads jumping in there. Great man, Paddy. But I thought he ran way too keen in Punchestown, so I think just coming over obstacles here for the first time should settle him there. I think he is a bit of an engine in Gold at the Mountains. He's 14-1 at the minute. JJ Slevin, of course, retained to the owners, Sean and Bernadette Mulren. I just think that if this lad settles, he could be thereabouts, and at 14-1, I'd rather take another chance each way and maybe put him in even in a lucky 15 each way. So go on the Mountains for me each way.
Yeah. One there I would fancy now. It hasn't ran in 236 days. Finney Maguire takes the ride for Barry Connell. Is William Money. You might have the price there handy now. I'd say Mark yourself there in front of you. He's a bit of form there. He's won twice already. He's been third in his last run, but as I said, it has been 236 days since he ran.
Yeah, he's about
72
at the minute. Yeah, I wouldn't put anyone off him because when Barry O'Connell announced the shock split of Michael O'Sullivan as stable jockey, he was saying that Sean Flanagan would take up a lot of the rides, but also Finney Maguire would come in for some of them.
Right, yeah.
Finney's a class rider. Obviously, he's still amateur and probably can't do some of the weights as
Sean can do.
Most of the professionals can do, I suppose, and that's probably why he's still amateur. Maybe, I don't know, but I think he's probably one of the top amateurs there. Very underused, and I just think anyone that has him in his yard, he's definitely a great horseman. Great pair of hands, and of course comes from that Maguire family that know a thing or two about horse racing.
They sure do, yeah. So we'll move on to race 3, Mark, and it's the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey Juvenile Hurdle, Grade 2, 3-year-olds only, over 2 mile. Now, first of all, I just want to say, O'Driscoll's Whiskey, they're after pumping a lot of money into racing. I find this year a lot of race meetings, and of course they're sponsoring the big race in Tramore on New Year's Eve as well. They seem to be backing racing a lot, and it's good to see it for Irish racing. They're actually a local company here in Waterford, so give them a little bit of a shout out. But this is a Grade 2 hurdle for 3-year-olds only, and we'll kick off with yourself again, Mark.
Yeah, I found this race a bit of a head scratcher, really. First graded race that we're going to preview for the weekend. As you said, you mentioned the sponsors. I seen a preview video they done of the Tramore New Year's Day, I think, festival. So yeah, an Irish company supporting Irish racing is what we need. You know, we need these sponsors. So great to see him on board. Yeah, it was a tough race for me. I think there's definitely a short one with Willie's again in it, but I like one here that comes in under the radar. Lady Vega Allen for Willie again. Making her, should I say, Irish debut, having won in France in September. So won 2 mile 1 hurdle around in France in soft ground. But I find it interesting that takes its chance here straight off the bat. And September is not that long ago to be running in France. Most of the time you see these French recruits coming in, they could be a year or so after they've won in France and making their debuts, and a lot of them come over and run maiden hurdles. But when Willie throws one into these deep ends, normally because they're showing a bit of an engine at home, and I just think to win around France is a tick in my eyes, and it was a hurdle that won around France. She comes in, she's in off a nice weight. Sean O'Keefe takes the ride, a great rider. Willie has him there, and he's rode some big winners in the last couple of years. A very young rider, and anytime he gets a chance, he takes it. I just think at 20-1, I'd rather take a chance each way, and again, fire him, or her, should I say, into my lucky 15. Naturally, Nimble, I think, for Joseph will run well. JJ Slevin, I think this is the main reason why he's here. Obviously, he's retained to the owners, and he's two rides for them on the card. But you know yourself, I suppose, not that rather, but you'd imagine like if he didn't have a real good squeak of winning, he'd probably be nearly able to ask the owners could he go over and ride the horse in the King George. So I just think it's a
Ambridge.
positive. So I think naturally Nimble for me for the fancied runners definitely is the one that I think they all have to beat. But I just think I'm going to take a chance with Lady Vega Allen each way.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Naturally nimble for myself. I just think he's a progressing horse. Finished seventh first time out over hurdles. He won the last day. He was after beating a good horse. Well, we think could be a good horse. Willie Mullins is Willie the Hole or Hool. Excuse me, French again. My French lingo is not the best. But yeah, I thought he was very impressive the last day. Richie Deegan rode him the last day because obviously JJ was out injured. He goes in there. He's about 13-2 at the moment. I think. I think he'll have a right chance there now. I think jumping the last day, he still had a bit under the sleeve. I think, and he went away clear from him as well. But that's who I would be going for is the Joseph O'Brien trained, naturally Limble, and JJ Slevin.
Cracking rider.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's off the mark already since
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, we mentioned that actually at Torres on Saturday, and first right back, and there was nothing wrong with his fitness. He really had to battle to the line and get under one there.
Yeah, and actually, what I noticed as well Saturday was after he'd ridden the winner. For anyone obviously that wasn't there, he was going out for an interview with Dave Keena afterwards, and I had to scratch my head thinking, how was he after just riding the winner for the fitness that he showed when he could barely even walk from the weighing room over to do the interview? If you might have saw him yourself now, he looked like he was in a bad way now, but to give the horse the ride that he gave it was just phenomenal. Like, to have that fitness back. But as I said, he was struggling now. He was limping very badly. Like, he was struggling to nearly walk. Like, what these lads are made of is unbelievable, isn't
I
it?
just steel. They're made of steel. I just see Brian Slattery has joined in there, so I'm actually going to just ask him if he wants to comment under their floor in the park. I'm actually going to nap him in Limerick, so he can give us the go ahead there. Gives us the thumbs up in the comments, maybe.
I don't think we'll get a thumbs up. It could be enough. Maybe it mightn't even be a thumb. It could be a finger.
You wouldn't know. He might tell us that get the Christmas money on. Hopefully Brian will come in and tell us. Yeah, no. JJ's made, like, I see the interview after with Kevin O'Ryan and for what he done to get him back. But obviously these are the days they're trying to get him back for him. He obviously did, and he showed his fitness. Anyway, he's not to be questioned on Thurles on Saturday.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll kick on. We are on to race 4. Then this is the first handicap hurdle of the day. It's over 2 miles. 20 runners declared here. I don't know if you have anything really in this, have you?
To be honest, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I kicked on to the one after that, which was the grade
I
one.
like one there. Just going to touch on it as it's in order. So I like one Miss Maxford, trained by Stokes down here in Feather, owned by Tom Egan, who actually owns a horse and jockey. Was second on debut in Clonmel off a big price, but then backed up that performance. David Dial took the ride again. Actually done £2 over and won by 2.5 lengths, beating a horse of Philip Fenton's, who went on him a second since. But the third horse for Henry de Bromhead, Love Me, has came out and won since, and won a 23 runner maiden around Navan, or a handicap hurdle around Navan, should I say. I just think at 12-1, David Dial comes back in for the ride. We touched on David on our first preview that we done. That he's a cracking amateur rider. He claims a valuable 7 off 10-12 off this 4-year-old filly's back. I just think that puts. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we're back. Can you hear you?
Yeah. Somebody else is just. Yeah, I just think Miss Maxford each way then at 12-1.
And as you touched on, David Dial is actually riding out of his skin.
Yeah,
he's
a couple of horses cracking rides there in Thurles on Saturday.
He was very unlucky in the listed race, even as well. I thought he gave it actually.
Yeah.
He gave it a cracking ride. He was just unlucky just to be best.
Yeah, sometimes the
we'll
runners up don't get the recognition, but I thought he gave it a winning ride,
Yeah. So we'll move on to the 2 race. It's the race and post long distance novice chase, a grade 1. We'll kick off with yourself, Mark. 4-year-olds and upwards, over 3 mile.
Yeah, the first grade one of that we'll touch on anyway, of the Christmas, and this is, as you said, the novice the 3 mile novice chase. Four runners declared as all. Corn has three at the minute, and Paul Gilligan has the other runner in it, Buddy One, who runs out of his skin all the time. Crow Park was a horse I liked last year, and I tipped him up last year, big prices, and I thought he was a horse to look forward to the future. But of course, he comes out and wins this year, big prices, and I never backed him. So, but I think he's a nice horse, and he's really after maturing this year for Gigginstown. Sam Ewing, another cracking rider. But I'm going to take him on with his stablemate Better Days Ahead, winner the Martin Pipe. But I was super impressed with this lad's performance around Navan, winning a beginner's chase, beating this year's, who's this year's Supreme Novice Hurdle winner by 4 lengths. I just thought that was a mighty fine performance here. And they're all in off the level weights here, of course. So I just think that Better Days for me gets the nod here 2-1. The money seems to be coming from a shade bigger than that earlier on. I just think Better Days Ahead gets the job done here. But I think it will be a cracking race. I think Crow Park will serve it up to him, and of course I don't see Stellar Story or Birdie One out of it yet. So it all depends on what way. I think a lot of tactics will come into play.
Yeah. What I was going to go for myself would have been Crow Park.
Right.
Myself, I thought he was very impressive the last day.
Yeah.
I know there's only 4 runners, but this could be a cracking little chase because you've 2 Cheltenham winners in there as well on top of it, and people can forget that. You've Stellar Story as well. I don't know if he's going to be up to it the same as Crow Park and Better Days Ahead, but I'm hoping this will be a cracking race now altogether. I really am. But I would go for Crow Park in this one.
Yeah,
I thought he was a big outsider the last day. He was 22-1. I was actually going mad. I didn't back him myself. He seems to be a right little horse. That's who I would pick in this one anyway. Is Crow Park.
Yeah, look, he's a horse. Actually, in my previews, I tipped him up and I said, look, he's a horse for next year as well. But again, I was kind of kicking myself that I remember when he won, I didn't actually see the race. I was away, and one of the lads, Brian, texted me. He said, you were on. And I was like, oh, I knew straight away what he's after me, and I forgot about him. But look, that's just horse racing. That's just you take it in your stride. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I think it'll be a cracking race though, but I'm just going to side with Better Days Ahead. I was really taken by his performance in now.
Yeah. So we'll kick on then, Mark, for the second last race of the day at Leopardstown, and it's the Racing Post Handicap Chase. 4-year-olds and upwards, so 2 mile and 1. And I'm sure you've cracked into this one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle now, to be fair. I like Noah Meads, Affordale Fury. Top weight is the only problem, but Rob James comes in and takes a valuable £7 off, and that puts him at a bit of an each way play for me. So again, it was a bit of a one where it was struggling to find it. I think Final Orders could run out of his odds as well at 33. So anyone looking for the massive odds, I think Final Orders back down to a winning mark around, has nice form around the course and distance, and Jack Henry, who's a very good young rider, takes 3 off his back. So I think Final Orders each way at 33s, and I like it for the Affordale Fury as well. After that, it was kind of, I said I'd go for a Hail Mary with the two of them.
Yeah, just as you pointed out there, young Jack Carney claims 3. He's a serious little rider. He was a very good rider on the flat as well, and I think he's actually still riding winners on the flat.
Yeah,
from at Dundalk.
Yeah.
And, he definitely knows where the winning post is. That young lad, he's going places, I think.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. Gary just commented there, 255 hardest handicap of the day. Totally agree with you, Gary. Not that I agree with Gary about much, because we love to have a bit of an argument, but no, I agree with him there. And then the final race of the day for me is bumpers. This race is actually, I was lucky enough to tip the winner this last year. I just like one that I'm just going to watch on the day. Walks in June. Henry the Bromhead, Walk in the Park, bought by Barry Maloney, who's had Gold Cup winners and everything. Young fella Gleason's takes 3 off his back. Not that it really makes much of a difference here in these bumpers, but I just think after his performance in a point to point, that was a talking point to point. You know yourself, some of these after they win and that, and then a few others came out in one since. So yeah, I just think Walks in the Park, walks in June, by Walks in the Park, will be one I would finish my day one selection at Leopardstown.
I'd have to agree. I was the same horse I was looking at earlier myself. It's the same one, Henry the Bromhead's horse with John Gleeson riding it. It's just really, it's kind of hard to look past it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think look, yourself, bumpers can be tricky, and of course, it's what to do, what to step up. It's like going into big boy school from graduating from preschool. But yeah, look, I just think that he showed that point to point, and yourself, a lot of the point to points you hear about whispers after or before and that, and this was definitely talking point to point.
Yeah. So that's Leopardstown wrapped up for day one. We'll kick on
Wrapped
then.
up for day one.
We'll come back down the country, down to Limerick.
Yeah.
Not too far away from yourself, Mark.
No, not too far, but then again, we're never too far away from anything, really, are we? No, but in fairness, yeah.
But you're going to be there for the 4 days yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to be working there. Fortunately and unfortunately, I probably won't get to see much of the racing. We'll be that busy down there, but yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be there as well. There'll be a great buzz, and it's cracking days racing. Now they've got the grade 1, 2 in the last couple of years, and of course that falls on the Saturday now. So that's going to be, I'm going to look forward to that. But I'd say now, Stephen's Day, by the time I know what's going on, it'll be over. But no, I'm looking enough. I'm there for the 4 days, so yeah. So looking forward.
So we'll kick off. The first race is at 12:25 in Limerick. The Aqua Process Solutions 3-year-old maiden hurdle over 2 mile.
Yeah.
And again, we'll kick off with yourself, Mark.
Yeah, there's one here that really sticks out for me. Not really going to shout home about the prices here, but Willie Mullins is Lincoln the winner of a French bumper, and the only horse to run in that bumper since was the fourth horse, who boarded up then by 9 lengths and was subsequently bought by JP McManus. I just think that this French recruit could be a name for the future, and I think look, even money, you're not going to get rich or anything off it, but it's definitely one for the shorter humans for the Christmas. So yeah, I just want to see what this horse comes out and does. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lincoln decide down here in the flesh.
Yeah, of course, Brian Hayes rides that for Willie Mullins. Apart from that, is there anything else in the race, Mark, that might point out to you for a big price for anyone?
Big price. I was looking earlier on at a big price. I just think that William Dorkin's horse, Philip Burns, comes in for the rides, might run each way at a price of 14-1. Holy C. I just think might run well, and William Dorkin has been shown applying his trade in the last year or two. So yeah, no, but other than that, no, I really want to see what Willie's horse comes out and does here. But I'm not telling everyone to lump on him with even money or that, but definitely he'll be going to a sharp price again for me, and I just think that if he puts it together, this could be special for us.
And of course, I the same as yourself there, Willie's horse, with Brian Hayes riding it, Lincoln. So I think you could take a bit of whacking. You have another first time out, Lakota Blue then for Gordon Elliott, and a horse there. Some people might kill me for saying it now, but could be there maybe with a little each way chance to set the tone.
Set the tone. Yeah.
I'm not saying she'll win or anything like that. She'll be a big price, but it'd be nice to see her being placed. She's been unlucky. She was third there at Gorham Park there 2 runs ago. I know she had a bit of a break then, and she's back. It's her first run back. Maybe she might need a run. Who knows? It'd be nice to see her running in place for a small yard as well.
No, I remember her running her first couple of races. I was actually saying to you, I think she was running well, and then in Gorn I expected her to run quietly well, and she did. But I just think, the break might have done the world of good. She'll definitely give a good account of herself anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully we hear a good cheer there.
Hopefully. You'll hear me anyway if it happens. So we'll kick on to race 2, Mark. It's at 12:58. The Science Plus maiden hurdle, another maiden hurdle for 4-year-olds only over 2 mile. And again, we'll kick off with yourself again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be boring here really and go a Gigginstown opening double for Willie Mullins and Brian Hayes. I think the trio combination here could open the card with a double. I just think this is worth a second look here. This filly by Mass Marvel, I know she was beaten 7 1/4 lengths in Clonmel by her stablemate, but she ran very keen. She steps back in trip and gets the hood for the first time. So I just think that she was well supported today in Clonmel. Now Jodie took the ride on her. She was
Yeah.
94 and 5 to 6. The signs must have been good at home. She ran keen, so keen she was never going to get home. The chalk was out. And look, that happens, but hopefully she'll come on from that run settled, that she gets the hood. She gets worked up a bit, so she gets a hood, and yourself a bit of headgear like that can settle them. Hopefully the occasion will get to her. She goes down nice, and I think you'll see her going down on that. And if she settles the first part of the race, I expect her to come home here. She's 5 to 2 at the minute. Brian Hayes combines. There's a short one in it with Gordon Elliot's Canesburg for JP McManus.
Yeah, that's right,
Who
yeah.
again, I think was bought out of Point to Point. Was a Point to Point winner, was bought out after that Point to Point. But for me, I take a chance here with Caramoja.
Okay.
Paddy Flood just commented, "Well done, men, taking the notes here." Jeez, if you're taking notes on us, Paddy, you may retire.
You should see the notes I have in front of me, and I'm still not making any sense.
Sure, I can't even read me on writing. I don't know what to do.
We'll kick on to race 3, Mark, and it's the 133 race once again at Limerick, and it's the Lions of Limerick Jaguar Land Rover Novice Hurdle, a Grade 2, 4-year-olds and upwards over 2 miles 7. This looks a good one on the card. I'll leave you kick off at this one again.
Yeah, look, this is a race where It's a small field against 6 runners, a Grade 2 down here. It's in the novice hurdle over 2 miles 7. I'm actually going to make Florida Park my nappet of Limerick that day. I was actually going with the big Westerner earlier on, but I just think that this Florida Park has run some cracking races. He's probably not getting the recognition he deserves. I think that if he was in more of a National Hunt Yard name with Gordon or Willie or Henry, I think he'd be favoured for this race. No disrespect to the Slattery's, but these lads know how to train a horse. They've put some great horses through the point-to-point yards. They've trained flat horses to win. You've seen what they can do, and I just think Keane Quirk this day, the last day he rode this horse, gave an absolute cracking ride. He was only beaten a neck by the Yellow Clay, but I just think he just gave it a cracking ride. That Grade 2 novice around Navan, and to run the Yellow Clay by a neck, I just thought it was a cracking ride. I just don't think any of the rest of them. Now the big Westerner still has the potential to be the class of the race, but I'm just going to take a chance here with Florida Park at 7-2, 4-1, and if he even drifted a bit more, I think it's a juicy price for me, and I'm going to make him my nap in Limerick on Stevens' day. Paddy's coming in with some kind comments there. Too so many.
No pressure on, so Mark.
Sure, I remember Paddy when he's riding
I'll throw a reverse in there, so I will spice it up a little bit. I'll make the big Western my nap of the day. I thought very impressive the last day at Punchestown. Darragh O'Keefe rode it. I thought it was very impressive. He rides it again here on Stevens' day. Carrying 10 stone 10 is getting £7 as well from the rest of them. Half a stone, it's a lot of weight to be given away. I just think this one could upset everything. The big Western is the one don't mean upset everything. It's 11-4 here now. That would be my nap of the day, is the big Westerner for Henry de Bromhead and Darragh O'Keefe. I just thought it was very impressive the last day at Punchestown. Even turning in for home, Darragh O'Keefe was sitting there with a double handful. Made a tiny little mistake at the last, but it wasn't only anything that was going to spoil the race for him. And I just thought she went away very, very impressively. That would be my one for the day.
I actually had the big Westerner wrote down as my selection for the race, but going back through it and looking through the formula, I just think at the prices, I'd rather go with Florida Park. I was hoping Brian Slattery might stay on the line here and jumped in and give us the thumbs up, but the very minute I mentioned his name, he went running. But
they're too shrewd by it. You won't get anything off
Slattery, so don't worry, I call him on it.
You'll only get anything off if you're giving him money for it.
Yeah. If you told him he was going to get a 10-cent a view, he'd be on. But yeah, I just think Florida Park is I'm going to nap him there. Look, we're going to go nap v nap here, so on Limerick.
Yeah.
All right. RC nap of Stevens a day.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's he on about RC? That's
Paddy Flood is going with the big Westerner as well there.
oh, you're ganging up me now, but sure, look, I don't mind it anyway. They're the only horses. They're the only race I've previewed for Stevens today. Now you
Yeah.
might have some of the rest of them done. I just left the rest of it alone. I didn't want to just completely congest the whole place.
Yeah. I was the very same. I kicked on then to Down Royal there. I picked up 2 races at Down Royal because I think if we go through every single card here, we could be here till Stevens' Day.
I didn't actually touch on Down Royal. I like to watch Down Royal the night before, the morning, just to see the money. Sometimes it's a forgotten meeting, but certain trainers run horses up there. I remember me hidden names now. Christy Roach, when he'd run horses up there, he'd be watching them the night before that, especially JP runners. And he's snipping the money at all, I'd be jumping on. Maybe it was a good or bad thing, but there was always those kind of trainers. But you'll see yourself, like. But yeah, I'll let you kick on there with Down Royal. So
yeah, so I've gone with, if I get it again, was Down Mexico Way. Sean Flanagan rides it for Henry the Bromhead. Second last time out in Tramore, was beaten by what looks like to be a very good horse of Willie Mullins is Carnaquet.
I actually have that horse tip for the 27th, so that'll back it up. Hopefully, if this comes out, maybe it's going
to. Mark. So yeah, Down Mexico Way, Sean Flanagan rides for Henry the Bromhead. Second last time out at Tramore. Ran a really good race. It's probably after coming up against a better class of horse. This is the Auction Maiden, Connolly's Red Mills Auction Maiden, and yeah, the one I would go for here now would be Down Mexico Way, Henry the Bromhead, Sean Flanagan. I didn't really kind of delve into the whole lot of it. This is the one that really stood out to myself now was Down Mexico Way in the second race at Down Royal. And then I moved on to race 3 then, which is the 12:48, third race at Down Royal. And it's the Adair Manor Opportunity Handicap Hurdle. And I went with back from the races is the horse. Philip Rotwell trains it. Tiernan Power Roach is riding it. But we all know is riding out of his skin at the moment. Philip Rotwell's horses are running extremely well as well. He was very unlucky the other day actually with a horse that ran at Thurles. He was in an opportunity chase. He was only just beaten before the line there. And I remember standing in the stands and watching Philip Rotwell, and I think he thought he had it himself. Like he was just beaten, but his horse seemed to be running really well. As I said, Tiernan Power Roach is riding out of his skin, and when both come together, they're a force to be reckoned with. So for my tip there in the 12:48 in Down Royal as the third race is, as I said, is back from the races. Tiernan Power Roach and Philip Rotwell.
Perfect. Any other fancies for Down Royal?
No, that's it now for Down Royal. As I said, I didn't really go through the whole card. Mainly looked at Leopardstown, good few at Limerick, and tipped away there at Down Royal there. But I think we'll kick on to the big one of the day, I think, Mark, will we?
Yeah, well,
Kempton,
of course, always that meeting that you wouldn't, even if you're not involved with horse racing, you always know about the King George being on Stevens' Day here, Boxing Day in the UK, but we're 100% Irish, guaranteed Irish. So just Gary's coming in. Cullen won for Philip the other day. Next door to
yeah.
He must be a local winner, but I think that's one of the first in Thurles. I actually backed Philip Rotwell's each way in the first. He finished third, and he trained the winner as well. But the horse that finished third, we want to watch as well. We're going to just touch with Kempton for the first couple of races.
Yeah.
We might bring in Gary then with the King George and the Christmas Hurdle, and then he might give us a handicap selection or two. Hopefully, he won't come on and argue with me all the time, because we have a tendency to. We're like the Podge and Rodge of the horse racing. But yeah, Kempton, one of those days that we all know is as they say in England, Boxing Day or Stevens' Day here. King George, definitely a race of the year. If you don't really know about horse racing, it's one of those races that you know about. So yeah, a cracking card again for what looks to be one of the races of the. There's two lads after coming in here now with Fahey's. Paddy Flood earlier on was on about Fahey's in Down Royal, and now Paul
Paul
O'Reilly
O'Reilly.
came in there with
That's
Pat
Bangy
Fags in the bumper,
the
so
bumper down the aisle is a
get
nice
on.
horse.
We'll get on. So, but yeah, we're going to kick on and we're going to go through Kempton here for Stevens' days.
Yeah.
I've actually went through the first couple of races. I'm not too sure. Have you gone through the first few races? Or
Being honest, I focused on the two big
yeah,
races.
I just want to touch on the first race. Then I just think First Street, Nicky Henderson's First Street, runs in those Lady Bamford colours, more known for the flat.
Yeah.
11-1. I just think could run well at a price. I'm not going to go down through much of it here and bore everybody. We're going on a bit too long. I've done a bit of homework on it. Look, might blow out of the water as well, but I just think at 11-1, I take a chance each way in it. The second race, then I think this is always been a cracking race. Spillane Tower boys, the underdog get on. The second race then is the Decada Star Novices Chase, won by some nice top horses down through the years on progression to coming through the ranks. The young chasers coming over here. Won last year by a horse that's going to contest the King George later on. I'm not too sure if this year's race is up to that standard, or if we see a horse come from this race to go on and do the things that some of these horses, winners of it down through the years, have done. But I'm actually going to take on. I'm going to go with Alan King's Masakio here. 92. Tom Cannon. I know he has to reverse the form with the jukebox man, who's short at 11-10 for Ben Paul and Ben Jones, a combination who've been doing very, very well. I think Ben Jones is cracking it right, and Ben Paul has have had a better quality of horse in the last couple of years. But I just think stepping up to 3 miles, I think Masako here could run him home late. And then we're going to kick on straight onto the Christmas hurdle. I'm not too sure if Gary wants to come in. I'll just see if he's there. You can kick on there with the Christmas hurdle while I see can I get Gary on.
Yeah, so the Christmas hurdle now is the 5-2 race at Kempton, Ladbrokes Christmas hurdle. I think this is going to be the race, I think, of the day. So Constitution Hill and Lossie out. This is going to be a cracking race. There's Gary now.
Oh, lads,
hi, Gary.
Yeah. What's the crack? How are you keeping?
Welcome to the show, Gary. I don't know, is
good.
it a holy show or what kind of a show it is, but welcome to the show. Paddy Flood just came in there. He's going to give me 6-1. I didn't say I was going to back it, Paddy. I just, you know what I mean?
So we'll kick on with the Christmas hurdle at Kempton. I'll be honest now, she's a horse I think a lot of it's Lossie out. I just think she's something special. She really is. I'm hoping she's going to be the next champion hurdler. Look, a lot of things have gone on with Constitution Hill since last year. Does he come back to his best? We really don't know. So Marcus notes there anyway. We really don't know what's going to happen. But for me, I would definitely. For me, it has to be Lossie out. As Paddy Flood said a couple of weeks ago, back in an interview, she's barely even come off the bridle in any races she's won. I watched her running in the 4-year-old champion novice hurdle back in Punchestown there about 2 years ago. And when I was stood at the second spot, Zarek the Brave came back in with Darrell Jacob. And I remember Darrell Jacob just saying, look, I just couldn't get to her. She's just too much speed. And he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. There was nothing he could do about it. I just think she's something special. And I think if she runs the way she's been running all along, I think she's going to take some beating now. I really do. And I know, we all know really, Willie Mullins thinks the world of her. He has her enter for the champion hurdle. You know, she's going to get 7 pounds as well off Constitution Hill, which is a fair lump of weight. But yeah, I couldn't look past Lossie out. She, to me, I hope she's going to be the next best thing.
Gary. No, I think is Gary there? Or is he gone? Is he froze or what? Is he gone?
He's gone. I think the kettle's at the bottom.
No, that's down there. But yeah, no. Look, Gary's back in there now. Paddy Flood was just commenting there.
One of you dropped me out there, but
no.
Listen, lads, I genuinely think this is not just the biggest waste of time over the whole Christmas period. Like, the whole thing about Constitution Hill, if he comes back to anywhere near his best, you still need 1 or 2 prep runs before you are anywhere near back to what his main ability is. Last time out getting £7 against Constitution Hill on his best day, I genuinely think Lossiemouth will give Constitution Hill a run for his money. But we've seen Constitution Hill for the last year and a half, not being here, not being there, not being here at all. So I think this is 10 to 11, and I'm not one for backing short ones at all, and I don't have money to back short ones at all. But this is the biggest Christmas gift of all time. Lossiemouth could have a bad day on Stephen's Day and still beat Constitution Hill. And I'm not even getting on to the King George, because I think King George is just the greatest load of shite this year. One of the worst King Georges of all time. I'm sorry now for being so explicit here, but back to Lossiemouth. She's won. She will win on Stephen's Day. She'll win the champion hurdle, and I don't care what anyone says about Constitution Hill. Paddy Brennan said the other day with Matt, there's no coming back from what you've got. Like, it's been a year and a half basically. So I'm looking forward to Lossiemouth actually dominating and being the best 2 mile hurdler out there. Simple as that. So
yeah, Paddy just came in there as well. I don't know if Paddy's free. Maybe at the touch of this, he might just come on. I don't know. Both at their best, he's 2 lengths better. She's getting 7, and she's probably improving 100%. I think if both of you made valid points, that there's no point even like keep harping on here. But it's just, how does she get beat? Constitution Hill, as you said, Gary, still needs a prep run. I know they're saying Nicky's a maestro, and he's brought horses back. Sprinter Sacker only came back after how many runs and then turned up in Cheltenham. But I just can't see how a horse. I just think, look, we seen him, he was a beast, but there was always that flair about him that what was going to happen the day that he was tested. Now, he's never been tested because he's been injured, but he's like, it's not only that. I just can't see. I think Burnett Road for the forecast even could be for a forecast. I wouldn't even put. I can see Constitution Hill, if he don't put it up to her and win, he's going to be putting it up. Being honest with you, I don't even see him finishing the race. Now, I could be meant to eat my words. That's the joy of this sport.
Hey, sorry for jumping in. I seen Paddy here. Paddy said he's free. So Paddy, if he can,
you're already sick of me there. Invite in Paddy. So
if he can send a request in,
the seasoned Gold Cup contenders. And but for me, I just think Banbridge turns up here. I think he's a cracking bet each way, 5 to 1. Gary touched on it. We're going to bring Gary in a second. I don't think it's a strong renewal. I think a lot of them in behind your Brave Man's Games. I think the French horse was a beast last year. You might have said he was going to come over this year, but what he's done since, you can't really put him in that bracket. I don't think he busted blood best the last day, so I definitely wouldn't be going with him. There is plenty of money for him, shrewd enough connections, but I just think, for me, I just think Banbridge at 5 to 1. Paul Townend's going to come over here and rob all the Stirling, take it back to Ireland. Then although he's probably going to stay over if what's his face runs on the 27th. Ballyburn, is it?
Yeah.
But for me, I just think Banbridge. I just think he's the horse they all have to beat. The ground perfect for him, and once it doesn't go soft, I think good to soft, perfect conditions for him. Gary, you an opinion here?
It's easy to say. Look, for me, it's easily. I mean, easily between Spillane Tower and Banbridge. I mean, easily. I think these two will be jumping and last 2, 3, 4, 5 lengths clear. I think this generally, my time watching racing, 10, 15 years plus, this is the worst King George I've seen in terms of quality and depth. Like, you're looking at LA Francais, and Paddy's after hitting the nail on the head. LA Francais is an awful bleeder. It was a poor winner of last year's. Great owning, Le Hambrasset is just a fucking handicapper for me. That's as simple as that. Like, at prices, if you're looking for an each way price, Corvus price and Via Lynn, for me, you're getting 4 places, but everyone. You're getting 12 to 1. Like, if you don't want to back a 3 or 4, because at the moment, look at it here now, Banbridge is gone from 5s into 4s. Spillane Tower is gone into 10 to 3s, 3 to 1, 10 to 3. If you want to be each way value, in Via Lynn or Corvus, one of them, at least one of them, will be at least in top 4. This is the poorest King George I can ever remember. And I just fingers crossed for the Mangans, and I know it's JP, big owner and everything like that, but people outside of Ireland don't realise what JP does for the small trainer in Ireland, because Mangan, Joseph Mangan might be, I suppose, a name everyone knows about Jane and everything like that. Oh, she's a big figure. He's a small trainer. They have their little pints. They have their little breeding operation, the whole whatever. JP gives small horses to small trainers every day of the week. This is absolutely monumental. If Spillane Tower can win the King George tomorrow, and then obviously go on for, fingers crossed, Gold Cup campaign, this is monumental, because, as I keep saying there, he looks after the small trainer, and it's not often the small trainer gets his opportunities. So fingers crossed, Spillane Tower does win tomorrow. I do fancy Banbridge myself at an each-way value. If you're getting 92.5 to 1, it's an each-way bet to nothing, but fingers crossed Spillane Tower wins.
The same with you, Gary. I'd love to see him win it for Jimmy Mangan. Do you know, I think the last
he's a guy you need to races.
Was Monty's Pass. If you remember, won the Aintree Grand National.
Yeah.
Jimmy Mangan and Barry Garrity. But it'd be, as you just touched on, Gary, it'd be great to see a small trainer that's getting the backing off a big owner train big winners like this, and to be even on the big stage. As you said, it is monumental, and I really hope he does it for him. It'd be great to see it.
It would, but and look, there's no doubt in his ability from what he done the back end of last year and then came out and backed it up this year. I just think Banbridge is a class horse, and I just think he was going to put a bang right up to Ugar and me again, I think, and you see what Ugar and me is capable of doing. So I just think Banbridge, I think he still fights with Boyles, Gary Banbridge. So I think at 50 the odds there, he's an each way bet for nothing. But look, I hope these two are battling it out. And look, I've no ill toward feeling if we get nailed by Spillane Tower. Jimmy Mangan is an absolute gentleman. You'd meet him at the races, he'd be always wearing those yellow and purple cap, the woolly hat back in the day. And if you said hello, Jimmy, he'd say hello, how are you? He's an absolute gentleman. So to be great to see him. But I just think Banbridge for me is my play. I think he's actually a good thing here in this King George.
He was actually very unlucky the last day down in Cork to an Ergamine. I was very impressive. It was very impressive that day.
Cork, really, one quick second, because you saw, I've seen on social media, Egan Rain jumps to the right, jumping to the last. Was it right for Paul or was it not? Was it jump to the right in the last fence of Cork, intentional or not? If you look head on.
No, I don't think so. No.
Fair enough, so.
I don't think so.
And if there was fair play. And then he'll come out and win the King George and the horse he knocked, but I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was.
I definitely wouldn't say it was.
Paul for me, and I know Paul personally, but leaving that aside, if he was a personal friend of mine, I wouldn't even bring it up. I'd kind of stay out of it. But I just think he's such a top rider. It's not even funny. Like, it's the big days, you'll see him there on the tactical side of it. What he gets on, spot on all the time. Like, he's just always in the right spot at the right time, and I just think that's why he has that job.
Oh yeah.
So
I totally agree.
Anyway,
it's why he landed.
That's the King George. I'm going with Banbridge. I think he's my Nap and Kempton on Stevens' day. I definitely might 5 to 1. I think he's some pricey.
Nap. Last year was obviously your Nap on fucking.
There's no point napping a 10 to 11 shot.
Yeah, but like, look,
but I know what you're saying. Look, I'm going to go. I just think for a bit of value, I think
value. Yeah.
I just think I'm going to nap up Banbridge. There is one other race. I know that the rest of the card in Kempton, I don't think any of us touched them, but there's just a 2 mile maiden hurdle there. A race that sometimes shows up a nice hot prospect, and I just think there could be one in here that I'm going to watch. Nicky Henderson runner, JP McMahon, French recruit from the family of Epatante, and I just think could be definitely it's 4 to 5 at the minute, and I just think Nicky unleashes some of these French recruits on this card, so I just think it could be one to watch, and it could if it comes with the if it produces what is shown in France, this could be another one like the Horse of Willys in the first in Limerick that could show a nice future going forward. We might touch on I went through Leopardstown's 27th card, and then Gary, you might have one or two handicaps for as well. Have any touched on Leopardstown yet for the 27th?
No, I didn't go near it. I will be honest.
Um,
It was
I'm just going to run through the first couple of races, then we might touch on Gary's handicap plays. This is a cracking day's racing, the 27th. They've shuffled some of these graded races around, and I just think that this could be nearly a better card than the Stevens' Day card. You've got the 2 grade 1s on the card.
Yep.
No. And what am I talking about? That's the 28th, isn't it?
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, no, there's 2. Sorry, there is 2 grade 1s on the card. There's the but look, the first race I like Joseph's Galileo Dame here. JJ Slevin combines. I just think his flat runs bringing it in here. Race 2 then. There's a nice horse run of Willie's. I think it's for me. Actually beat the horse that made the big money, Caldwell Potter, in a maiden hurdle. He's only run over hurdles by a length and a half in Punchestown. I know we haven't seen him since November 23. I wouldn't worry about that. Makes its chasing debut here. I think he definitely won. Daryl Jacob comes over for the ride in the double green. Then race 3, that is the 2 mile 1 grade 1 chase. This is a cracking race. Gaelic Warrior, even money. What have I here? Yeah, I think that'll take a lot of whacking. Gaelic Warrior here. Paddy and Willie Mullins, of course, won down in Limerick last Christmas. That was the race where there was a bit of family drama. But I think a horse that can run well at a big price in that race is Solness at 20-1 for Joseph and JJ again. I think that was only beaten a neck by Found a 50 two runs back, and I just think that at 20-1 is way overpriced. Then we have the 4th race in the card. This is a very interesting race. This is the Future Champion Novice Hurdle, a grade 1 over 2 miles. This is always a cracking race to see some future stars coming through. Won by Fakel Vega in the last couple of years, and Caldwell Potter last year. Of course, Caldwell Potter went on. I'd like to see if he stayed with Gordon what we would have done. I hated that whole disruption. I think even if you want to pay that big money, you should have nearly left him with Gordon. I like a horse here of Willie's, a horse that you have tipped the horse that finished second to him in Down Royal. Carna Queeth, French runner for Gillinstown. Paddy takes the ride here at 8-1. I think is way overpriced. There is a couple of nice prospects in it though, and then there is a big handicap. No, there's a big handicap on the card here, which is not. It's the penultimate race, the 3 o'clock race. It's a 200 ground listed handicap chase over 3 miles. There's 2 that catch my eye here, big prices. An interesting one here, ride-wise. Paddy Hanlon, Shark Son, Clayman 7, gets his first ride for Willie Mullins. Harzan Dateri, who, of course, was second to Flooring Porter in Listowel in the Kerry National, and then was second behind Real Steel in Limerick in that big handicap in the Munster National, the Grade 3 around Limerick. Ran a bit below par in Newbury in that big the Gold Cup, the 3 mile 1 race around Newbury there in November. But I just think at a price there, 16-1, likes it around here. Paddy Hanlon taking I think the £7 off his back. Paddy rides well, to be fair to him. He's had plenty of rides. He's had a few winners, but he's had plenty of rides. He knows what to do around in races now, and I just think take 7 off his back will bring him back into handicaps. The other one that I can see running a cracking race, always does in these big handicaps, Panda Boys for the Brazil, could be a race he might have targeted, and those are my selections for the 27th. So if any you want to jump in there with your handicap picks, or if you have anything for the 27th, if not, I know Gary has a few selections. We went a bit over time, but sure, look, when you get a legend on like Paddy Flood on the channel, you have to take it. You have to take it. We'll go to Gary first. Have you a couple? You're always the handicap man here with a few up your sleeve.
I do, because I think it's easy. It's easy to go into your graded or maidens or whatever and say, right, I fancy this, fancy that. But like I love, like you know, and Brian knows, I love the handicaps where it's a flat horse coming back to jumps, or it's a first or second time handicap horse going over hurdles, whatever. But
I love the handicaps for the reason I always put them like a jigsaw or a puzzle.
yeah,
You have to put them together, and everyone has their own ideas of it. I have my own way of doing it, and I go down through it, and sometimes it just clicks. And them days that you get the big price one that you know yourself and you're after putting it all together,
yeah,
there's no better feeling. And of course, I said it earlier on, I'd rather take a try. We started the previews. I went with a bit of an each way selection rather than jumping in all these odds one shots, especially in these type of races. I tend not to go for the shorter ones. So I leave. If you have a few selections there, Gary, fire them out there.
yeah. 100%. And Brian said the other day there's been a horse running in Dundalk there for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I won't name the horse because it's a locally owned horse in Thurles, but it ran 1 or 2 handicaps open at Marks, and I says, no, just wait your turn. The horse placed off, I think it was 40. We got 40 or 50 to 1. Came third the other day of 50 to 1. A 51 play to me is better than a 4 or 5 to 1 or an even money winner any day of the week. So when you put your horse into your handicap and you follow horses, for me, it does pay out and you do make profit in the long term. But for me, the very first race, well, not the very first race, the very first probably extra placing race, we call it, on Stephen's Day is the 12:48 down Royal. Now, Tony Martin, take it at your fucking pinnacle. Now, this horse, a 5-year-old, it's rated 75, 76 on the flat, made its handicap debut in Down Royal in 2023 off 93. So the horse is rated 75, made its handicap debut over hurdles of 95, fell on handicap debut, has not ran over hurdles since March 2023, has ran in 5-6 flat races since, has stayed at a level of 75, 76, runs off 93, the same level again of its open handicap mark. 5-year-old Mark Malloy is taking 4 off its back, going up the fucking Down Royal of a Stephen's Day for me at 15 to 2. I've taken 15 to 2. Pralogaman for AJ Martin in the 12:48 Down Royal on Stephen's Day for me at 15 to 2. Getting 5 places, Paddy Power. It's an each way bet. Now, obviously, the horse is off, but it's Stephen's Day. I cannot see the horse not being off.
Good shout.
That's like, again, but like we all know these things. You're following these handicap horses, and you think it's, you think you're onto a good thing. So if that horse runs to its level, the horse wins our race. It's race 75 off the flat. It ran off 93. It fell third, three hurdles out, in Down Royal that day in Paddy's Day. My next race I'm going to is a 145 in Leopardstown. I'm absolutely conflicted here. Do you know when you have your horse track and you're like, my tracker is up to date here now, but then you get notification you've won 2, 3 horses in the same race? That's where you have to really make a decision. So, Grand Lad for Gordon Elliott, 6 to 1. I backed the last day. Made its handicap debut in Navan on the 15th December over 2 miles. Ran off 109. Went up £1 for that race. I'm sticking with Grand Lad for this race. I know it's 6 to 1. It's not a big price, but I also backed Arch Enemy the last day. Arch Enemy was rated 84 on the flat. Ran off 96 in Fairy House. I backed in Fairy House on the 14th. It's gone up £8 since that Fairy House win on the 14th. I just think Gordon's horse is still a 4-year-old getting the weight. I think only going up £1. So for Grand is my bet in the 145 in Leopardstown, but Arch Enemy, finger crossed, can run the place. I have 1 or 2 more. I have 1 more, sorry. One Night Standard. Cullen Wayne, I said to you in the comments earlier on, Cullen Wayne ran the other day. My address, I won't actually give my full address because I don't want people obviously knowing where I live, but Cullen Wayne is my address here in Moneygall. Won the very first race in Thurles the other day. Gilfile, their next door neighbours, have me here in Moneygall. But one nice standard for Gavin Cromwell. Runs off 102 over chases, ran to level of 111 over hurdles, but was in really good hurdle races. Was in the 130 hurdle races. Is back in a really low handicap chase. It's a 102 handicap chase. Top weight, but Cornerstone Welsh is riding, claiming 5. So one nice standard is my third and last.
What race is that in, Gary?
That is the 158 in Down Royal on.
I thought we were still on the 145 Leopardstown, right? The 158 Down Royal.
158 in Down Royal.
Okay.
That is my 3 handicap picks for Stevens there.
Cool.
So I'll go. I have 2, and they're similar, a little bit similar. So one of them is for the 145 in Leopardstown, a horse that I've been following for, I'd say, nearly 2 years now. Look, he's a big price at 20 to 1. Again, Tony Martin trained horse, Belgo Prince. I'd love to see him winning. He's won a couple on the flat, and he won a big amateur derby in Epsom there back last summer. I actually know the owner, lovely fella, and he couldn't be a nicer chap. I'd love to see him winning for him. I'd love to see him winning this race, but I kind of, for the price he is, I would have an each way bet on him. I just wondering, does he get his jumping right? He ran last year in Cheltenham on the Friday meeting, at the November meeting. He finished his second or third. He made a mistake at the last. He finished 8th the last day there. He ran it back in November again, back at Cheltenham on the Friday meeting again. And Daniel King takes the ride on him. He's 20 to 1. He's carrying 10 stone 5. Look, I'm not saying he'll win, but I would love to see him be there or thereabouts. He has a bit of consistency, in fairness to him. But that's for an outsider. That's who I would go with, and hopefully he could get in the prize money there for a big 20 to 1 shot.
I tell you, I actually tipped Miss Maxford each way on it, and my other horse that I forgot to mention at the time was Sanair at 25s. I think he won there. They couldn't go on the radar. Jay Cohen comes in, takes £3.
I've done off so many clips of Sanair over the last 2 years.
He's a horse with ability. He's in off 10-4. Jay Cohen takes another 3 off his back. He's rode his horse on the flat back a few years ago. He's riding on the flat. I think he can put it together on certain days, and he could be well treated here at 33 to 1, and you're going to get 4, 5, 6 places in some spots in these big handicaps. But I think Miss Maxport at 12s and Sanair each way at 25s. But like, we've tipped about 7 a minute, but probably won't even the winner between us. Like, sure. That's the joys of these handicaps. So we might have to go to a combination tricast. But
look, one more horse that is actually Tony Martin's horse again. Another Tony Martin horse.
You're going to perish on that rock that you have Tony Martin, because Tony Martin don't even know when these horses are going to win.
I'd probably say, look, we all don't know when it's going to win, but I think there's a really, really big pot in this horse. Is Good Time Johnny.
Yeah.
Anyone that's watching, look, as I said, I don't know when it's going to win. None of us do. But if it's a horse, keep backing it. There is a big, big pot, I think, in this horse. I actually backed him for the Irish Grand National, and he was pulled up, but I fancied him big time. And look, unfortunately, he was pulled up. He won the year before that at Cheltenham. He won a big handicap. Was it the Pertemps? I think he won. Yeah,
and then
on the third day.
They were saying he was aiming at the amateur race in at Cheltenham Festival this year, weren't
they? And he is actually entered for Saturday at Leopardstown. I think it's a Pertemps qualifier.
Okay.
So, as again, I'm not saying he'll win, but definitely anyone that's watching, I would definitely keep an eye out for him. Well, he's Good Time Johnny.
If he wins on Saturday, he's not meant to win. I'll tell you that.
Don't know what you mean about
that would be one for me anyway, for going forward. Would be Tony Martin's horse, Good Time Johnny.
Lovely. Gary, you've no more selections, have you?
I have one, because it's in my tracker, but again, it's with great caution and it's a shit price. It's Lady of Luck in the 2.5 mile handicap in Limerick on Stevens. It's a 208 race. Paddy's riding for Charles. The horse that run off 105 has ran in 3 above average maidens. The last one in Cork came third out of 18. I couldn't believe when I got the notification. Do you know when you have the Irish Horse Racing tracker and your emails, you come up, oh jeez, which tracker is this, and blah 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 blah, and you rarely ever get excited. When I saw 105, I was like, right, Limerick is obviously going to be the day, but you know what Charles now, 7-2. Will Charles take 7-2? He probably won't, but Lady of the Loch at the 208 in Limerick on Stephen's Day. Just have a fiver each way, and if he doesn't win, he'll win at a big price and a big pot one of the days.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Look, we're going to leave it there. We're an hour and 17 minutes at this. I suppose we had a few special guests along the way, and there's plenty of racing. We ended up doing the 27th as well. But look, I'm really looking forward to Stevens' Day's racing. It's one of those racing days where it's just, if you're a fan of racing, and if not, even it's one of those atmospheric kind of meetings, days of racing. I'm really looking forward to the Christmas Hurrah. I want to see Lassie Moe coming out doing the job. I'm interested to see what Constitution Hill will do too. And if we're eating our words after we've seen something special, but I can't see it. King George, look, it's not a quality race, but there is potential to have two at the top of the market that might potentially be somewhat stars down the line. There is a couple of the maidens, the novices, that we'd like to see as well. And them handicaps, we hope we put the puzzle together on one or two of them. We've previewed kind of all of the 27 in Leopardstown. I'm looking forward to seeing Kempton's the Grade 2 novice chase there. So Gino actually takes his chance now and is going to go over fences. The match between him and Ballyburn, what's going to happen there? I think Ballyburn, for me, beats him easily. And then the 28th, there's some fantastic races to look forward to. I'm hoping to jump back on myself in the evenings and maybe do a 28 and 29 preview together, because Leopardstown's 28 card, I think, is the card of Leopardstown's winter festival. I think the Savills Chase and the Savills Hurl are two cracking races, and you have the Grade 1 novice chase, the Faheen novice chase down in Limerick as well, which I'll be lucky enough to see in the flesh. Hopefully you get a breather and get out and watch that race. But look, it's been fantastic being on here again, especially with you, James. Not so much Gary. No, it's great even having Gary on, because now he can't. It's very hard for him to be the keyboard warrior when he's on live facing there. But I'll leave you chat away there and sign us off.
Oh, look,
James.
first of all, Mark, thanks for the suggestion and saying it to me the other day, and great to have you on, and really appreciate it. And for Gary popping on as well. But look, anyone that's watching, look, we're just doing this for a little bit of fun, you know. It's a passion that we have as well, and just we don't take it too seriously at times, but don't be jumping down our throats if some of the horses don't win. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just racing. But look, I'd just like to thank Mark once again for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. Paddy Flood, who also came on as well. We had a bit of crack with Paddy there. Got a bit of information.
You mentioned him there at one stage, but he was one of those cracking horses that he rode.
That's right. So look, I just want to wish everyone a happy Christmas. Spend it with the people that you love. Enjoy every minute of it, and I hope you can all back a couple of winners as well.
Exactly, Gary.
No, listen, lads, Mark, for the first time probably since I've ever met you, no slagging here whatsoever. No, boys, in fairness to two of you, listen, it takes a lot of balls to jump on and do these things. It doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers. It doesn't matter. You got the likes of Paddy Flood on there tonight. Those lads outside the race, and people have no idea who he is. People inside the race and have followed the race, and I know who he is. I know what he's done. That's unbelievable knowledge you get. You've loads of contacts. You've loads of ability. So keep it going. And like as I said, I text both of you the other night. As sad as my life is, I was buzzing for this tonight. So this is absolutely brilliant before Christmas Eve. Well done, both of you, and fingers crossed it won't be the last time two of you do it. All right.
I know. Perfect. Yeah. Cheers, Gary. But again, touch on James and Gary's sentiments there. First of all, it's Christmas. Enjoy yourself. Spend it with whoever you love and do whatever you want to do. But we do this for a bit of fun. We do have a few bets, but they're always like, we'll put the big prizes in, lucky 15s. We might throw in a few on the short ones, whatever. But we're just the every working person kind of. We're not coming out here saying we're going to make everyone rich or whatever. We're just here to get on, have a chat, hopefully not argue too much. But when we do, it's constructive arguments, you know,
Exactly.
that kind of way. And
Nothing wrong with
look,
it.
exactly. And a big special word goes to Paddy as well. He was commenting there, and I just put it out there. If you wanted to join on, not a bother. And like Paddy was a top class rider. He rode for the great Desi Hughes, was stable jockey there. Rode the likes of Hardy Eustace and that, and has a lot of had some downs, but a lot of ups in racing. And he's in race now, and he's teaching. He's teaching young people how to ride and stuff like that. So it's great, and great to have him on, and great to hear his thoughts. And look, we will be on again. Hopefully, I'm definitely going to come back on and preview one of the evens racing for the 28 and 9th. I just want to get back doing my thing, getting my groove. So hopefully, one of the two of you can join me, if not both.
Please God, yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that. We're harping on too long. Good night, happy Christmas, and safe home.
Long before, boys. Long
before.